November 3rd, 2025.
Great.
Go ahead with the roll call.
Chairman Steve Dyer. Brian Green.
Here.
Kyle Cook.
Here.
Mark Zelinski.
Here.
Ryan Hiegel.
Here.
All right, we'll go ahead with public comment on matters not on tonight's agenda. And hearing none, we'll go ahead and close public comment. Move on to approval of the minutes from November 12th, 2025.
I motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we'll move on to our tabled legislation first. Has there been any news on this? No news on this? Okay.
John has touched base a few times. He knows what he needs from the board, to get to the board, but we have not gotten anything.
Okay.
I had a
It'll be
question
in
on
the
that
new
too.
year.
Is that coming back to us or is that going to design review?
It's coming back to you.
It'll have to come to
That's what I
us for
thought.
the.
I
You
just
all
don't-
tabled it and requested.
I just wanted to make sure.
ownership.
Yep.
Yeah, it will come back to you once he gets those things.
Okay.
And then if you want to send it.
Then after that, you can kick it to design review unless you want to do otherwise.
No, it's fine. Yeah.
So he has not gotten ownership approval, basically, is what we're
Right.
saying.
Well, we don't know.
We don't know.
Whether he's contacted her or he just hasn't given it to us, I don't know. We don't have anything.
Okay.
All right, we'll go ahead and move on to item number 5, application 111225V, the variance for 48 Benedict Drive. And I'll have staff start off on this one.
Sure. Trevor was kind enough, our planner who's not able to attend tonight, was kind enough to do a staff report. The applicant is here. What we're looking at here is a variance request in the UR1 district. Typical setbacks requirements are 35 feet. The variance being requested is for 7 feet. So the encroachment would come into the 28-foot area. As Trevor has outlined in his report, the current setback is actually out of compliance.
Right, so the variance is only 5 feet.
I believe so,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So really, if you're looking at the consistency of other houses within the area, they also encroach within that setback, and there's a variety of things that you can run through with that. The applicant did provide a narrative associated with the practicalities and difficult analysis. It's in a written form rather than a bullet point format, but still applicable to this particular application. One piece in Trevor's report that I do need to highlight is the very first reference on page 12 of 26. We had tasked Trevor to do these in rather quick order, and if you read through it, you may be confused on item 1 as it references retail. I think he was doing these simultaneously.
Yeah.
And had a
I noticed that.
had a moment of slipping into what was probably the 33 Coshocton, or 333
That's-
West Coshocton
yeah.
piece. So I would ask the board to disregard this as it would make no sense to this particular review.
Yeah.
But everything else is consistent, and I think that really defines it. And open to questions if you have any, but the applicant is here if you have any questions for them as well.
All right, we'll go open to questions for the board at all. All right, would our applicant like to say anything?
I got one question. She asked
If
for-
you could come up to the podium, you have to hear you for the record.
Oh, okay.
So,
I bought this house and never even thought about this for a while. I knew it needed a porch and windows, right? I did that. I decided I'm gonna put on a front porch, which is a porch there now, it's about 3 foot onto, not quite to the edge of the sidewalk. And I wanted to put a 6-foot one on, it went right to the edge, 40 foot. I wanna go 6 foot from the house, both ways, okay? And I measured it, and my house sits 34 feet off the road.
Yeah.
And there's a couple houses around there that's a little closer,
right,
but the sidewalk it stops at my place at the driveway of, I'm gonna say it was,
Pauline Biddle.
Biddle. Beth Biddle and her mom, Pauline.
Yep.
And she don't have a sidewalk. That's the only one that don't meet that requirement. And so I got 7 foot from the edge of the sidewalk to the road is what? Waste? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yep.
Because I got a 4-foot sidewalk
Yeah.
Then,
but in order to get 20, if I have to move the house. So, my thing is I should be doctored in or grandfathered into that because I don't know where 35 feet come from. See what I'm saying there?
Yeah, we probably got to ask every house on there to do,
Well,
they
and-
got to apply for a variance because of their house now. right?
UR1 in general, if you think of UR1, that's all of new addition. And
It
think
is,
of
yeah.
think of how many like
Oh,
three
yeah, there's
seasons
no-
rooms
there's
are
no
on the
way
front
it's
of houses
35
of new
feet.
addition.
That's from the front to the back.
Right.
You'd have
Right.
to set it in the neighbor's yard.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and my apologies, Mr. Chairman, I forgot to mention the most critical piece of this, the summary at the end, just for the applicant's sake, in case you haven't had a chance to review it. Staff, not the board, has recommended approval of this variance request for the Chapter 1147. Now, with that said, board does not always have to follow our recommendation, but they typically utilize the material that Trevor has put together to render a decision. So I should have mentioned that before, that way maybe it lowered people's blood pressures. Trying to look out for the well-being of our community.
But I did all my measurements the best I could. I measured some other people's houses and none of them are 35 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we appreciate it. I had to go in and look at the definition of setback actually too, because they're measuring from the sidewalk. And I'm thinking it's from the curb or,
Yeah,
That's what I thought it was.
usually it's the
Yeah.
property line and it, and it's right away. So whichever's further.
Yeah.
So if you didn't have the sidewalk, like you said, you could go from the curb from what it looks like, or the right of way at least.
his neighbor doesn't have the
So-
sidewalk. so-
Right. That's what,
You're exactly right, if you have a sidewalk.
Right.
And my sidewalk's 4 foot wide
yeah.
in front of my house. Normally a sidewalk's only 3.
Yeah. And these are some of the
That's gonna give me
eccentricities we've
35
inherited.
feet if I didn't.
Yeah, through the
4
older
foot.
part of town. So, yeah. No, we appreciate it.
Thank you,
But,
sir.
yeah.
Okay.
Any other,
I just want to clarify that because, I did all kinds of measurements. I did my homework sometimes.
nope, we appreciate it. Any other questions from the board, staff? We'll go ahead and open to public comment. And hearing none, we'll go ahead and close public comment. And I'll make a motion to approve as written.
I'll second.
Brian Green.
Yes.
Kyle Cook.
Yes.
Mark Zolonski.
Yes.
Brian Hebel.
Yes.
All right.
Stick around,
Appreciate
we
you
have-
coming in and stick around and talk to staff
We
for
have
all of your.
design review to
They'll
follow
be on
this.
design review. too.
Oh, that's right.
Another meeting, separate
I heard
board,
about that today.
And they'll go through kind of the design that you proposed.
I was gonna ask about that.
Usually
I
second,
think I
yeah.
got measurements and all
Very good.
prints for it.
Okay. Very good.
All right. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to item number 6, the recommendation to council on application 11-1325 for the zoning map amendment for 333 West Coshocton Street, UR1 to GCC1. All right, we'll go ahead to staff first.
Sure. Dive into this one again. You have a staff report from the planner, Trevor, and he's not able to be here tonight. I will start off with this at the beginning so that I don't forget it, and that is skipping right to the chase. What everybody wants to know, what's the staff's recommendation at the end of it? And Trevor does indeed make a staff recommendation supporting this to be rezoned from UR1 to the GCC1 zoning designation. So there is all of the referenced pieces, A through E, to pull resources from whenever you're evaluating this from a board perspective. There is other properties within the area, and last night, council approved the rezoning of the KSEPS, old KSEPS building there on the corner of Meadow and Coshocton Street. Very similar situation. Probably couldn't have a more similar situation than what you're looking at here, and you all evaluated that previously, I want to say 2-3 months ago, and that worked through the process. So really not a lot different here. The only thing that I will point out, more of a housekeeping piece, let me find my notes, there it is. This does not absolve the property from compliance. with other sections of GCC1. So there's a lot of things happening on this property. What we're looking at specifically is the zoning. Obviously, when a zoning application comes in, we look at permitted uses. Currently, it's zoned residential, which is problematic for kind of the building in its present use. So this is a great way to clean this up. It does afford that property to be zoned GCC1, but again, does not absolve any other requirements that are a part of GCC1. Property owner to move forward, if they were to change businesses or things like that, would still have to come in, submit those applications. We would review them. Could be a variance request that's needed, and there may not be a variance request that's needed. So that's one identifying piece that I want to point out. Other than that, I don't think I have anything else to add to the report.
All right, with that, we'll bring our applicant's representative up for anything you'd like to add.
No, I think, Sean, thank you, or let me get up here. Sean, thank you for, do I have to say who I am?
If you could.
Okay. Steve Altman, Key Properties Group, Keller Williams, Greater Columbus, on behalf of Rob Denzine, the applicant. So to echo Sean, thank you for that explanation. To be clear, in case you guys aren't familiar with the property, I know some of you are. I used to sit on the stools in Napa with my dad in the 90s in that building. So it's been a commercial building. Then it was a commercial building before. The recommendation came from Trevor to apply for GCC1, just looking for any commercial designation at this point because it's been commercial its entire existence. You guys know that. So, and also to be clear, not trying to change any use at this point, really just trying to clean up zoning, like Sean said, allow him or the next owner to continue to operate this building in the terms which it was purchased in 2014 by Rob and has been operated this way since 2008. When Mr. Drown, I believe, is the one that turned it from the original standing Napa building into a 5-unit. It's been used as a 5-unit, and he's had occupants say, hey, I want to occupy the whole building. So that's happened between now and 2008. There's been several big tenants, and then there's been several 5-unit tenants. So trying to keep things the way they are. This was all sparked, just a little background, by Terry Weimer kind of gave him some ultimatums of you better do something with this, and he's not rented it. The 2 units that went vacant, Terry kind of had him running scared, so he's lost some income and hasn't rented it since those applicants moved out. So a little bit of hardship already here. So hopefully this goes well. But that's the brief summary. If you guys have any questions, I've got all the details here. But
Appreciate
Okay.
that.
All right, questions from the board?
No.
All right. The only thing that I have to say, or do you have something?
Well, no, we just did KSAP's GCC1,
Right.
right? And then that leaves like 2 houses in between that aren't GCC1 right now. People live there. I don't think it really matters, but because it's been commercial for 20 years now, right?
Right.
What is, clearly there's a history I am not aware of. I don't know, do you want to speak to it? Is it something you should bring up, or you guys know about something that we don't know? Because like,
As far as in regard
this
to-
Terry guy who's giving him a
Oh.
hard time, or like, what am I missing?
Terry's no longer with us.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of
So-
irrelevant.
Okay.
But,
Yeah, Terry's no longer here, and I don't
Not
want
the
to
way you
speak
said
too
it's
far
irrelevant.
back into.
I see, yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to speak too far back into the time.
doesn't matter at this point.
Travel machine here, but what I will say is the technical process that's supposed to happen when a zoning application is given to the city, the first thing they do is go to the zoning map and identify the permitted uses that are allowed on that property.
Okay.
So when that is done, as it properly should, pull up the zoning map, it immediately says residential. That presents a problem unless with KSEP's situation where they existed as a garage, and as was stated, I think, during those hearings, if they were continue to occupy it as a garage, auto repair shop, it is effectively grandfathered in for that specific use. Same thing with this particular property owner. If they continue to operate it in the exact same capacity, whether it be, I think there's like a salon there right now,
Yeah,
and there was an office for design studios associated with it. Now, if they were to switch that to a medical, that effectively changes the use, that grandfather piece that no longer exists. And honestly, for the property owner, it provides a benefit from a lending perspective. Ryan can probably speak to this, and Steve, you'll know that one of the first questions that happens whenever they go to get a loan is the bank will call the city, and this happened recently with another property, and they want to make sure that that it is afforded the zoning for that specific use before they lend on it, because without that designation, we have to
Okay.
revert back to what it is. So
They
I
could
don't
make
know how it was done in the past, and I don't want to speak to the past, but I can speak to the future and the process. And I think it's a great opportunity to clean up some of these things. And quite honestly, I think it's going to give the property owner some better assurances and better value moving forward. So
Okay.
is that what you were looking for?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. Yeah, there's just some.
Is it currently
History
for
on
sale or is that a for lease sign? That's okay.
No, you back under.
No, you can just answer that. It's fine.
It is, and it is in contract, but it's contingent on it being, for some of the reasons you mentioned, lenders don't want anything to do with it if it's not.
So it's for sale to not Mr.
So he just said it's in contract.
It's in contract with a local buyer as well that wants to do the same thing.
Keep it 5 units.
Yes. He will occupy, the buyer will occupy one unit
Okay.
and rent the rest out. But, he'll use the one unit for his personal offices and then the rest of
But it doesn't change what he's allowed to use it for
Right.
based on the code. So
Yeah.
it's
Right.
still just, if we change it to GCC
He's
1,
allowed
it
to use
just
it for-
provides more opportunity for them to
As
rent
long
out
as
the
you're
other
Right.
as long as you're good with whatever's in GCC 1 being there, then you're good with it.
Yeah, I mean, it already is, right? So, yeah.
The only thing that I wanted to say about it is, and not that there is a domino effect, but I agree with what you said. Like, we do have people moving down through. We really need to take a hard look in the future with zoning and as a city with what we want to see happen in that corridor. And I know we've had mixed use there for a long time, but Johnstown was well out of the central Ohio market then, and we're definitely into the middle of it now with everything coming this way. So if we don't want to see the historic houses and things turn over in that area, like this property is very easy. The last property we did were very easy because they've been businesses forever.
Yeah.
But as we start to see houses, it's one thing if they want to take a house and make it a dentist's office or an attorney or something like that. But we definitely need to take a long, hard look.
That was my note too, is we
yeah.
we do need to get back to the GCC 1 conversation of,
Yeah.
splitting.
Yeah, I mean, we have enough issues with GCC 1 in our downtown area.
Yeah.
And with how it relates down through there and other parts of town, and to spread that down this corridor as well, and it'll become disjointed as, it's always okay, like I say, it's always okay when it's people from in town, and we're always happy with that when it's the in-town buyers, but we're rapidly approaching the day where people from out of town that have no connection to us come in and
wanna
start
buy
buying
and
these
then-
properties,
some
and then
way.
it becomes a business deal. And we're not necessarily going to like that so much. So we need to be out ahead of that with the zoning to
Agreed.
make sure that
Yeah.
we are getting the products we want.
Yeah. And GCC 1 is what, is that what we talked about a couple weeks ago or months ago now around what can happen in GCC 1?
Yeah,
That was that whole
GCC
thing?
ones are, so it's really it's Main Street and then kind of a street over in each direction, but it does sprawl in some areas
Okay.
a little further than you'd think. And that's where you get some oddities that are in that area and odd questions that come to the city that we may or may not like. So
Okay.
we need to think about how, as it goes down 62 now,
Yeah.
how we like certain things. I know we have Village Commercial that's in there, but it's kind of odd too. And I don't know that we've gotten what we want out of our zoning, but we need to take a look at that quickly
Yeah.
before other properties change hands.
Yeah.
And if I can pile on that, I think Ryan's bringing up a good point, and in Trevor's report, it does do a comprehensive plan review, and just to kind of underscore what you all are talking about here, the 2024 comprehensive plan designated the subject property as transitional corridor, and I love the way it's described. For residents and visitors alike, the transitional corridor serves as a gateway, our first introduction into the character of the city, historic homes, libraries, medical offices, and other services located throughout these types of corridors. Lot sizes are gradually reduced, and the buildings shift closer to the road as the city's arterial roads converge into the downtown core. So Trevor did a great job of highlighting that and emphasizing what this is, a little bit different than our downtown, but also that transitional corridor into the downtown. So Ryan did a nice job of explaining, some of those uses that are more more appropriate for those areas. And then you'll also notice, if you take a look at the GCC 1 and the Village Commercial, they're very similar, and they have blended a little bit. Easiest legal way to do some of those things is to modify those uses throughout. So the city over the last 5 to 6 years have been able to utilize that strategy to gain some similar consistencies among the two, because there are kind of two districts, but we're starting to converge maybe into one similar. So great background.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve as written.
I'll second.
All right, Ryan Green,
Yes.
Kyle Cook,
Yes.
Mark Zolenzowski,
Yes.
Brian Heath.
Yes.
All right. So please confer with staff for all future plans and everything in the future.
So Steve, just from a process standpoint, this will be a recommendation to council. So your client's blood pressure cannot be completely alleviated tonight. This will have to go before council for 2 readings. Likelihood of that is going to be
It's
January
January 6th.
6th, or the following meeting. Like I said, they'll have 2 readings. One will be an introduction. The second one will be the public hearing piece of this. We just went through this with Mr. Speck and his particular building. I will tell you that you have 2 members of this board that come January 1st will actually be serving on council. So because you're getting a recommendation from these 2 members, highly likely that at least that weight will carry through to council. And they didn't have really any questions related to KSEPs as well. So if he does want to attend, he can, but we don't want any medical emergencies to
January
happen.
6th, and what's the other one?
Well, will the applicant be emailed the dates?
Yeah, I'll reach out. January 6th and January 20th. If, I gotta get the newspaper, all that, but that's counting the days. I think it can't be less than 20 days, and it can't be more than 45,
Yeah.
so we'll have to
usually
have
30.
it January.
We've got to get notices out associated with it. So effectively what'll happen is this board makes a recommendation. We transmit that. Once it's transmitted, there's a clock that starts to tick. And then there's a notice piece that also has to be in existence. So we can't scoot it along any faster. And there is a piece where we can't delay it either. So it does have to follow its according path. So, but yeah, January 6th is likely. If it's not January 6th, it could be.
I don't think we have enough time. I think it has to be January 6th because we can't go longer than like 40 or 45
I was thinking it might
days.
even have to be after January 6th.
It's gotta be
Before
not less
then?
than 20 days from
Okay.
their.
I don't think we'll mind backing it up if it's not on January 6th. That's gonna be a busy meeting anyway.
We'll let you know.
We'll have to talk about it in that meeting.
I'll make sure we let him know.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I'm sorry.
Nope, you're
Side conversation.
good. Okay, very good. Perfect.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you for coming out tonight. Except for Craig, he's gotta be here.
Yeah, it got me out of the deer stand, so.
I know,
come on.
me too.
Did you get anything yet?
Oh, my boys got a few, so I just.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
You guys, am I good?
Yeah.
You're good to go,
All right, you coming to Linker in the morning?
maybe.
All right.
No, probably not.
Share your chairs.
See you, buddy.
All right, see you guys.
All right, is there any other business?
No, actually, you brought up what I was going to bring up in other business as far as let's get back to GCC 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like we need to tie it in with the Village Commercial or something too, right?
Yeah, that's a separate
It's
conversation.
a separate conversation?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you need to figure out, I mean, they probably all get discussed just because there's symmetry there. But
That's
you
true.
probably talk about the corridor and what you actually want to see out of it.
Okay.
And that's not gonna be, the only corridor, because honestly, with GCC 1, you clearly have a business district and then you go into housing. And so you have to decide how that's gonna play out in the future and how you can work with that.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna look at the corridor between downtown and the nursing home down through there. Cause you have a couple clusters where there's only a house or two and then you're into a commercial
Yeah.
property.
So what's the stop
So-
like someone just buying the house next to whatever this place was and then chopping it up outside of the bank checking, maybe they just pay cash.
What do you mean?
So if someone just comes in, buys a property that's a house,
Yeah.
cash, they don't go to the bank, so they're not checking, and they come in and sublet, what's to stop them from doing that? Outside
Well,
of we would fine them?
Selling it wouldn't necessarily be an issue
that's
because
not
you
an
can
issue.
sell for whatever you want, but,
Right.
and you can speculate and do whatever you want, but if you're gonna come in and use it, the usage is what the issue
So
is.
the house that they
So-
sell, the usage is still the same?
Yeah.
We're not, so when
I
we
got-
take,
How do we stop, yeah, go
well,
ahead.
yeah, so you got GCUC one at specs, okay?
Yeah.
And then you got house, that's UR one.
Yeah,
And then this will now be GCC one here. So those houses still, no matter what they do with them, have to be homes.
yeah,
They have to fall within UR1's, not just homes, but they have to fall within whatever UR1 says it is.
Yeah.
but I guess, okay, we would then go in and fine them if they weren't doing it. If someone bought it and started.
Oh, you saying if someone's
Yeah,
using
your
the
enforcement has
property-
to catch it,
Yeah, our
obviously.
enforcement would have to say,
Yeah.
"Hey, you're doing something, we didn't approve this.
If someone was utilizing it for a commercial purpose
Yes.
as opposed to a residential,
Yeah,
Yeah,
then that would be an enforcement issue. He mentioned Drown. He, oddly enough, had a house that was across the street where he actually had his attorney's office. And this goes, again, in the way back time machine. And I recall this was, just before my arrival on council, but they would fine him on a monthly and a
Okay.
daily basis.
Okay.
And he was an attorney, so it didn't really cost him anything
Yeah.
to argue
It's
his
like
case.
just paid the fines.
So he just paid the fines, but eventually it got to be to where I think the judge finally said, hey, the fines are going to go up on a daily basis. So I think that's what prompted him to purchase it and then move his law office across the street, because he was running an attorney-only practice out of a house that was on Coshocton Street. Hops are a little bit different. They call that home occupation
Yeah.
permits. So if you're, an architect and you don't
well,
have
were you here
clients-
for the therapist?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were here for the therapist, weren't you?
No, he wasn't.
Maybe not.
So we had a therapist come in because they felt that this board
I needed
needed
it.
some.
Yeah.
There was an application.
Which I have
for
a
a
question on
therapist
that.
to operate an office out of her
Okay.
home.
Follow up and make sure.
Primary use is obviously
She's
the
not
home,
doing
Right.
but then
She just
because
has
of her,
clients visit,
I didn't think she
like
would.
daycares.
yeah.
Gotcha, okay, all right. So there is,
We asked him to do.
No, I was gonna follow.
as long as it's UR
Nothing
urban
else
residential,
was done.
we have enforcement.
Those are
That house not being
things
destroyed.
that we told him to
Correct,
do.
okay,
Well,
that's the question.
They could tear down the house and rebuild a new house.
But still has
It
to
would
be a
still have to go
house.
through the demolition process, but, or if it was a fire. But yes, it would still have to be a house that was utilized as a house.
Okay,
So,
do we have historic houses that we protect?
Not through the traditional means of historic. I
No,
don't
we
think
don't
so.
have an
Stopping them from
overlay
tearing it down, to your
anything.
point.
The township hall is
So there
probably
is-
the only one. Is that labeled
National
historic?
Registry you have, but from the demolition permit, they do factor in, and there's as you all have the practical difficulties test that's in here, they run through that. I mean, they can deny a demolition permit. They have to prove that certain things of the house have degraded. There's no architectural features. There's no historical significance. Some of it is rather subjective, which probably is in the favor of the city. But for some houses, it may be reasonable to request that. I think they've had a couple on some side streets that
Yeah.
that had some failings and were done probably for the betterment. And then another important piece of that is, it's not the end of the world if something were to be demolished, but historically significant ones, we want to try to prevent that. But the next piece of that, and that is going before the design review board to submit an application for what can be built.
Yeah.
So they then can reference conformity with houses around it to require that this house to be constructed would have to comply with
Okay.
the natural environment that's around it, and they would have to use similar materials, similar architectural features. Wouldn't look right for a ranch, a 1960 style ranch, to be next to Steve or Josh Harris's house, and the architectural review board could obviously prohibit that.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
so probably irrelevant questions, but.
No, these are all good questions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No?
Well, especially that spot too, because
Probably the
it's
sixth.
where you've got the nursing facility, rehab facility. The two houses next to that are village commercial. And you have one UR1, and now you'll have GCC one right next to that, and then one UR one,
And then
and another GCC one.
Yeah.
So somebody could technically come by those two and say, well, you did GCC one on both of these.
That's, yeah.
Where
Yeah.
theoretically, we should easily allow both.
That's why I wanted to make it very clear when we had these meetings of the precedent we were setting. We did this
Yeah.
because of these reasons.
Yeah.
Your property does not fall under these reasons. That's why.
Yeah.
And right
may or may
behind
not.
those houses is one of the biggest plots left that's
pretty good.
in a very condensed area that doesn't have anything on it.
Oh, okay.
And there's a cul-de-sac right behind that as well, so it's not like you're gonna put a road through there because there's homes in a very small swath of land that you can't really put a road to connect to 62.
Gotcha. I know what you're talking about.
I guess in other business too, while I'm thinking about it, did you mention anything about mine in proper English here? Our term coming to an end?
Yeah, because they're up at the end of 25.
Yeah, because my term on planning and zoning's done at the end of
Yeah.
this year. And
So to do some
is-
research to find out if both of your terms are expiring or if one of your terms are
Well,
I
expiring.
think we're both expiring.
Well, either way, only one of us is coming back in January.
That is probably accurate,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to get in the middle of that.
Oh, we've already duked it out.
Yeah. So yeah, there's only one of us coming back, so we got to post a position either way.
Okay. We'll get with council at the next meeting to make them aware of that, obviously, and get them to post and then accept applications up to a certain deadline and then start doing some interviews, hopefully beginning of the year.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
His
go
name on
quick.
there is still Kristen,
Well,
if that needs to be changed.
we do that just for.
We should probably change your name. on
Is
it.
it really?
No, you got a
I
plaque.
didn't notice it until he sent me
You've
the
got a-
list and says, hey, our terms are
You've
up.
got a plaque, but on the website.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah.
But we can
Yeah,
change your
it is
plaque.
still
It's easier to
Kristen's
change
on
your plaque than the website.
It is.
You're
honest to
right about
God.
that.
That's a 2026 issue that we're looking to resolve.
You don't have a,
Exactly.
you don't have an intern?
What's
You
that?
don't have an intern doing the website for you?
And I think Steve's over. Oh, has he
We
got
can't
it?
afford an
Yeah,
intern.
me.
Yeah, oh, is it really? Oh, man.
It's
So,
not,
hey, two positions, because Steve's up too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve's term ends at the end of this year as well.
Okay.
Oh, you got lots
Very
going
good.
on.
Okay.
Yep.
But if Steve reapplies,
The other question I had, so speaking of that therapist that we had criteria in there that there was supposed to be a fence done. I noticed the other day that was not done.
yeah.
Yeah.
The HOP, yeah.
And then the other property I noticed, so down here where we had the property split, where Freya is now.
Yes.
Recording the
Easement.
easement out there, and there were some other criteria that we had, those weren't done as well.
The easement's the big one. They need to have recorded. So we'll need to check into that, see if it's been recorded at the county auditor, or the recorder's office, I'm sorry. So we can certainly check into that. The therapist, I will admit, I'll have to go back through the notes. It's been a while, and I can't remember the details of it. And we can send our code enforcement officer out to examine that, just for conformity. And if they are out of compliance, then he can certainly send a letter letting them know the criteria that needs to be upheld. But I can't, can you remember any of the stuff on that, Teresa? I can't.
I remember it, but I
don't know
mean, I
the
can probably
specifics.
pretty quickly find the
Minutes? Okay.
I
We'll check into
remember
it.
that.
All right.
I need to check and see what the conditions were.
Other than that, anything else? Nope. Any public comment from the public? No? Okay.
Oh, shoot. Greg, I forgot to call you.
All right, we'll make a motion to
I did,
adjourn.
yeah. I second, or yeah, Brian can
All
second.
right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.